This is the Personal Branding Success in 10 Minutes podcast. I am your host, Kaitlin Zhang.
And I am your host, Dannielle Bardowell. So what is personal branding?
Some say that personal branding is what others say about you when you're not in the room. I think personal branding, there are two parts to it. First of all, this is the part when you explain what your value offer is. So maybe it's your job title and also who your core target audience is. For some jobs, that's quite obvious. So for example, if you are a doctor, it's pretty clear what you do and how you offer value to people and who you're serving, which are the patients. But for some jobs, that's not super clear. So for example, if you are a communities manager or social media manager, it's not really clear what industry you're in, who you're actually serving, what are the specializations that you do. So first part of personal branding is being clear on that. And then the second part is your credibility and your reputation. So whatever you do, you've already explained in the first part, but what is your reputation? Like, are you a good doctor or are you no one's a bad doctor? Are you good at your job or do you have credibility? Have you worked on big profile cases? Whatever. So these are some ways to think about your personal brand.
Okay. But what's the difference between personal branding online and offline?
Offline, when we're thinking about personal branding, it's things that are in person. So a lot of times it's knowing how to present yourself in a right way in person. Like at a conference, if you're meeting people new, they're going to look at what you're wearing, how you're handling your body language, how you're speaking, if you're doing a brief presentation, how you're presenting. Yeah. So all these things are more offline. So online is anything that's in the digital space. A lot of times people are Googling you for the first time before they even meet you. So it's important to think about how do you craft your online presence in the best way possible to tell the right story about you before people meet you in person. And this is especially true in our, post-pandemic world. It's really useful.
Yeah, it is really useful for sure. Why do you think personal branding, or rather your online presence, matters so much?
Couple of reasons. Online job search is on the rise. Employers are often more likely to Google you and search your profile on social media platforms to make sure that you're the type of person they want to hire. And another way is to differentiate you from other candidates for the same job. So that's one of the reasons why you should make sure your online presence is good.
Tip-top shape.
Yeah. And also, companies want to hire you if your personal brand can increase the value of their brand. If you are a little bit of an influencer in a particular area, for example, you write blogs about a particular thing or make short videos about a particular thing that's relevant to the company's brand, then you will be able to increase their brand and they'll be more likely to form a partnership with you. In general, the internet connects us all. And online presence will give you a broader scoop for opportunities.
It's a win-win for everybody, basically.
Yeah, exactly. It makes it easier for them to get to know you, and also it helps you stand out more.
What real-life example can you give me about the importance of managing your image online?
Well, a few of my clients have talked to me about this and insisted that they stay invisible because of privacy concerns. And I do get that sometimes people saying, oh, they don't want to be online. They just prefer not to do it at all. This is okay for some professions. Actually, it's mandatory for some professions that I've worked with. For example, police officers in the UK, they have very strict guidelines for their online presence. Civil servants, government workers, high-profile individuals, they have very strict guidelines, and sometimes they have to stay anonymous, which doesn't mean they don't do anything. It means that they're actively making sure that their anonymity is protected. For the rest of us, the importance is that if you don't do it and then someone else who is fighting for the same opportunity, for the same job, has a little bit of better online presence than you, they're going to seem a little bit more approachable and they're going to get some opportunities that you may not get. So you will be at a disadvantage if you don't have some sense of cohesive personal brand presented in a cohesive way online.
Have you enjoyed building your personal brand with us? We would really appreciate it if you could leave us a review with your podcast provider.
That's right, Dannielle. Positive reviews help us build our brand so we can keep creating quality content for everyone.
So what's the top mistake that people make with personal branding?
The top mistake that people make with personal branding is absolutely thinking that personal branding is about them. They think that personal branding is about boosting their brand only, and it's about boosting their ego and making them famous. We have sometimes people contacting us at Oval Branding to discuss their personal branding project. And I can hear from what they're describing, what they're looking for is spending money to just be famous for not any particular reason that offers value to other people. So it's very egocentric. That would be the top mistake. I think those kind of brands don't last very long. They're not enduring. And also consumers and fans are very intelligent people, and they'll know if it's a brand that doesn't really offer any true value. So it's important that we only work with clients who understand that and understand that personal branding is about positioning themselves in a particular way so that they can serve other people as much as possible. So yeah, I would say that is the top mistake.
I never actually knew that people were egocentric when approaching their brand.
I mean, it's understandable, right? If you are, for example, kind of a person who's been working on your brand a lot, sometimes you can get sucked into thinking, oh, I just need to make myself more known, more famous, and seen by more people, rather than focusing more on how do you create more value for other people so they will be your ambassadors and spread your brand and tell other people about your brand. I think that's a much better strategy than just all me. Any kind of consumer product, it's always about the benefits that it will bring to the consumer rather than, hey, look at me, I'm this brand, please buy my stuff because I have this brand. That doesn't really work. So we'll always have to tell clients to come back to that in the end.
Okay, got it.
So the main takeaways for today. Number 1, your personal brand online helps differentiate you from others. Takeaway 2, developing your own personal brand can bring you more focus in your career. So it helps you identify your core purpose and how you can serve others. Tip number 3, personal branding is not about you. It's not about you. I have to say it again. It's not about looking great or being famous or being really influential. It's always about adding value to your core audience. So the next actionable step is let's get right into it. I want everyone to do a quick Google search of your name, the name that you want to be known for as your brand. If you do a Google search, you want to put quotation marks around your name so that the results will be up to only just your name and not just your first name or last name. So put your name in quotation marks, do a quick Google search, scan the first couple pages, just so that you know what information is out there about you so that you're not surprised by anything. And then we'll talk a little bit more on other shows about how to improve your personal brand. This episode is produced by Oval Branding, a London-based award-winning branding agency that serves corporate clients and personal clients around the world. Visit ovalbranding.com to contact us about your next marketing project. I am Kaitlin Zhang. Thank you for listening.